And now, time to talk sports matters on CEMTV. Stay with us.
Sensational, absolutely sensational, sensational, The All Blacks press forward with a driving run. White 5 for 3, it's good. A huge shot. The puck drops in this gold medal game.
So 14 days to the start of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Team Nigerian athletes have expressed confidence ahead of the competition after settling into a world-class training camp at the Aberdeen Sports Village in Scotland, insisting there are no excuses as they intensify preparations for the Games. And veteran cruiserweight Olanrewaju Godspar Durudola, underlined his world title credentials with a devastating first-round knockout of Sadiq Akanu, headlining another edition of the prize-fighting TV Boxing Classic at the National Stadium, Surulere. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic won a grueling 5-set battle with Felix Uga Aliassime to set up a semi-final with reigning Wimbledon champion Yannick Sinner. And in football, Kora United technical advisor Ashifa Suleiman has said the club will sign 10 new players for the 2026-2027 season. And now let's look at some transfer stories where Kenya Premier League side Tusker FC have announced the signing of Victor Mbauma. And AC Milan legend Andre Pirlo has backed Atalanta's Ederson to succeed in the Premier League as the midfielder edges closer to completing his move to Manchester United. And at the ongoing FIFA World Cup in USA, Mexico and Canada, Switzerland held a nerve to edge a tight and cagey contest with a 4-3 penalty shootout success over unfortunate Colombia and seal a quarter-final meeting with World Cup holders RB Celeste of Argentina on Saturday. In another development, Egypt, got knocked out. Of course, Egypt head coach is not happy. Hossam Hassan, he said, the referee was unfair and claimed the World Cup was directed towards Argentina following the dramatic 3-2 defeat in the last 16 of the competition. Interesting times, you guys. With that, I say welcome to Sports 360 right here on SEM Television. And that minute the voice you trust and that you probably need. They call me Rex Patrick the Locker, that homeboy that's never at home. I look around 247-365. I'm your host and guide. But hey, I'm not alone today because Michel Dagogo is right here. He returns right here on Sports 360. Once again, it's a great time, Michel. Good to have you right here.
Yeah, beautiful morning to you, Patrick the Locker. And, well, it's good to see you. And belated happy birthday to you.
Oh yeah,
Yesterday was your birthday.
Interesting times for real. Yeah, birthdays are special days.
Absolutely.
So, thank you very much. Well appreciated. Okay, so you're ready for this, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure you saw the games last night.
Well, I saw the games and too many contentious issues.
Yeah.
Worthy of note was the game in the between the Argentina and the Alba Celeste against the Pharaohs of Egypt. Well, we'll be diving into that shortly.
Absolutely. We'll definitely talk about that in a bit. But now let's start off with the Commonwealth Games, where with 14 days to the start of the event in Glasgow, Team Nigeria athletes have expressed confidence ahead of the competition after settling into a world-class training, camp in Aberdeen. The Aberdeen Sports Village right there in Scotland, insisting there are no excuses as they intensify preparations for the game. And Team Nigeria captain and Paralympic champion Folashade Oluwafemi led the athletes' praise as they began their final phase of the preparation for the 2026 Commonwealth Games at the Aberdeen Sports Village in Scotland. The Commonwealth Games will hold from July 23rd to August 2nd in Glasgow, with Nigeria set to compete in 10 sports through a 74-member athlete contingent. For Oluwafemi, the quality of the facilities available at the training base has removed every excuse ahead of the tournament. In the words he said, there's no excuse for failure because the equipment is very good for our training. This is one of the best training camps as we've been to, and I believe the best camp we've been to, and I believe with this we are going to make Nigeria really proud, she said. So the Nigerian contingents began training at Abidjan Sports Village, that was on Monday, with athletes making use of the venue's internationally accredited facilities as a fine-tuned preparations for the games. Located on Linksfield Road in Abidjan, the Sports Village is one of Scotland's leading high-performance training centres. So, Michelle Dagogo, it's good to know that the athletes are well pumped up. It features a World Athletics accredited 400 meters track, a UK Athletics accredited indoor athletics centre, and of course an Olympic standard aquatic centre, a high performance gymnasium, recovery facility, and multi-sports indoor halls. The venue has hosted several international competitions and regularly serves as a training base for elite athletes from around the world. And it's a good thing that the Nigerian contingents have got this exposure to some of the best facilities. This should help them or fine-tune their plans, help them set them right going into the event proper.
Yeah, absolutely. There is this quote in management that states that once you fail to plan, you've planned to fail.
Yeah.
And if you want to see optimum performance from our athletes, of course, such training camps are really necessary. It's all good that they are now in camp, and from what I'm hearing from the athletes, they are really pumped up, they are motivated, and this would further, help them to come up with medals to cover their faces in glory. Don't forget, when Nigeria participated at the last Commonwealth Games, they got 35 medals, about 12 gold medals, 9 silver, and also 14 bronze, which was really nice, and I hope to see them surpass that. Then they were not, prepared this way.
Yeah.
They did not have the opportunity to find themselves in such a sophisticated, training center. So I hope to see this training center and the kind of optimism they have, been talking about be reflecting in medals.
Yeah,
I hope to see more goals. Because if you think you're prepared, your preparation will be null and void. If you're unable to, at the end of the day, when we want to go into retrospect of what we won in the competition, we'll not be talking about the preparation, we'll be talking about how far and how well were you able to cover your faces in glory. So it's all good that they are now settled at the Linksfield the arena there in Scotland. And like you mentioned, it's one of the best high performance centers where they are to acclimatize first with the time difference, the weather, and what have you. So I really like the fact that they are prepared, and I hope to see them win laurels and also make positive history, because Nigeria will be competing in different sports, weightlifting, name it, athletics. And when it comes to athletics, at the time when our athletes, the likes of Samuel, Ogazi, and the rest of them are doing so well, I hope to see us surpass what we've achieved before. If not, if we're unable to do that, then the money that have been allocated to get this training center and also to fine-tune preparations will just be taken for nothing to show for it.
Oh well, the Director General of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olokpade, said the decision to camp at the facility was aimed at giving Team Nigeria the best possible environment to prepare for Glasgow. Captain of Nigeria's wheelchair basketball team, E.G. Bamide, Bamishola, also believes the quality of the preparations has strengthened the team's belief despite entering the games as underdogs. Multiple weightlifting medalists talking about Edidion Joseph is equally optimistic, hoping the improved preparations will help her better the bronze medal she won in Birmingham. That was some 4 years ago. Team Nigeria will be aiming to surpass its performance at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, where it finished as Africa's highest ranked nation with 35 medals comprising 12 gold, 9 silver, and of course 14 bronze. From there now, let's move on to boxing, where veteran cruiserweight fighter talking about Olarenwaju Godspower Durodola underlined his world title credentials with a devastating first-round knockout of Sadiq Akanu, headlining another edition of the prize fighting TV boxing classic at the National Stadium, Surulere. It was an interesting encounter for the most part. The 45-year-old floored Akanu early in the opening round of their 8-round national cruiserweight bout, forcing referee Maruf Akombi to wave off the contest after Akanu failed to beat the count. The win took the Nigerian policeman's professional record to 50 wins, 45 of them by knockout in 51 fights. Durudola wasted no time, asserting his dominance, cutting off the ring and landing a punishing combination, that sent Akanu crashing to the canvas to the roar of the crowd at the NI's gymnasium. The undercard delivered 11 other bouts across various weight classes. In the opening fight, Adebayo Adeniyi Dada stopped Kola Adeyemo in round 3 of their lightweight contest after Adeyemo's corner threw in the towel, while Samuel Elegbede outpointed Sadiq Popola over 6 rounds in a middleweight bout via unanimous decision. Ganiu Olaiton was awarded a 4th round technical knockout over Walter Sunday in a cruiserweight fight after Sunday failed to come out due to a bleeding nose, while the heavyweight clash between Ezekiel Igboruzirike and Sunday Abudu ended in a draw. In middleweight action, Shahid Abdullahi stopped Wasiu Jimo with a 4th round technical knockout in an 8-round contest. The fight of the night came in the 6th-round super bantamweight division, where Ibadan-based Okbayemi Ibrahim edged Abiodun Moyidin by unanimous decision after a fast-paced crowd-pleading display. Hamzat Idris and Oluwashino Ayomiku Balogun fought to a draw in an international middleweight bout, while Yusuf Ainde Ogbumbi, beat Ibokun Ipaje by unanimous decision in an 8-round welterweight fight. So it was quite a remarkable outing right there. Saddam Oladipo defeated Yusuf Ogunbunmi by unanimous decision in a 6-round super lighter weight contest, while Temi Tokbe Ademulere stopped Tanja Bethel defense in round 5 by technical knockout before Samson Kazim closed the show with a 3rd-round technical knockout of Anselm Nanzingbe in their 8-round bout. The event was also used to support one of the promotion's regulars, Kabiru Kebi Towolawi, whose wife Folashade is battling cancer, with Prize Fighting TV presenting a donation of 1 million naira to assist with medical bills. So, speaking of, on behalf of the organization spokesman talking about Miyen Akiri, said the gesture was aimed at easing the family's burden during a difficult period. May she come out of it really, hale and hearty in good time. These are really troubling times for, the family and all of above. And, veteran boxer Olaren Waju, God's power, Durudola, at this point in time, it was a KG1. At 45 years, he floored Akanu early in the opening round. Come on, crazy times. And he's known for always, he's got a huge number of wins by technical knockouts.
Absolutely. He's all good. At 45, he's still showing that he's not done yet. Normally when boxers approach 45 years of age, you expect them to, get not to be too active. But with the kind of impressive knockout he has amassed, tells you that, he has had a very high and remarkable
45 knockouts in 51 fights.
Which is really outstanding.
50 wins recorded.
Wow.
So he's lost just once.
It's not just once. It's not a fluke. Yeah. So if you take a trajectory, a kind of observation about how he fights, he doesn't like his opponents to go to the distance. Maybe that happens to be one way of making sure he starts his fight emphatically. Like you mentioned, he took his opponent to the canvas. Making some vital combination in terms of jabs, and also he's really intelligent on the ring, the way he manages the ring, and of course what a man he is. You know, when you talk about boxing in Nigeria, Nigeria has always been a powerhouse in boxing. The likes of Anthony Joshua, Nigerian descent, though you know he represents UK, but he has the affiliation.
Would you want to go back to Samuel Okon-Peters?
Samuel Okon-Peters and Duncan Ware.
Oh yeah,
yeah, who won in 1997.
Several Nigerian, when it comes to that, even recently, currently in the heavyweight category in the world, you
Moses
have a lot
Ituama.
Yeah, Moses, but a lot of Nigerians. I mean, these are all Nigerians.
So when it comes to boxing, you know, in the world, you cannot, you know, underestimate what Nigeria brings.
Okay.
Mostly have been, you know, the lack of the lack of promotional fights. You know, boxing happens not to have gotten the kind of followership football has, and to stage such fights, you know what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at some point here in Rivers State, if I remember, a couple of years back, there was a fight that was supposed to take place. They say they simplified Royal in the jungle, or how did they call it? All of a sudden, it did not see the light of day. What made that fight not to see the light of day? We can't really tell. So
wasn't that? I think it was strictly political. I mean, sometimes I don't know.
Well, you're not far from the truth, you know, Patrick. You know, sports here cannot be done entirely without bringing in politics. Yeah. But it is what it is. That's a talk for another day.
It is.
But congratulations to Duru Dola for showing resilience, longevity. Yeah. You know, he's not slowing down, despite the fact that he's one man who has, you know, kind of monopolized the cruiserweight, and these wins further solidify his position when it comes to him getting a major title shot. I hope to see him, you know, maybe get more fights and put himself in pole position to represent us.
Okay.
When it comes to major international.
Come on, he's 45.
Well, but he's defying the odds. He's defying age is just a number.
Well, at this point,
are you not the one that just told me about his statistics?
At this point, I would say caution is a word. Caution at this point is a word. All right, so you know.
But more importantly, what I love the most is the fact that, you know, in as much as it's a boxing bout, it was used as an avenue to raise money. Yeah. For someone who.
A fellow boxer, like whose wife is.
Whose wife, you know.
Cancer.
So you know, it further creates awareness about cancer, what people can do to avoid it, how to remain healthy, and what have you. So, giving back to society, you know, is something that I'm an advocate of. So I like the fact that, you know, in as much as one or two people took blows, at least they use it as a veritable opportunity to reach out to the sick,
which is really nice. That's a good gesture, something to build on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, something to build on. Okay, now let's talk tennis, where the man who shares no jokes, Novak Djokovic, won a grueling 5-set battle with Felix Auger-Aliassime to set up a semi-final with the reigning Wimbledon champion Yannick Sinner. Of course, he got into Wimbledon on the right foot, hoping to defy the odds and make it count. It went down to the wire, all the way to a 5th-set tie break in the longest quarterfinal in Wimbledon history. Djokovic, who grew, appeared agitated at some point, at points during the contest, needed a medical timeout early on, but eked out a victory to beat the Canadian 7-6, 3-6, 6-3, 6-7, 7-6. In the first set, he clutched his calf and called for the trainer to tend to it. He couldn't find a break of serve, but eventually won an extended tie break. The Serbian then coughed up a break and Auger-Aliassime snatched the second set away from him. Djokovic vented his frustration when he objected to officials closing the roof at the end of the second set, arguing that there was still enough light for center court to remain open. He needed the natural air to come in. All right, so he put that behind him to take 2 sets to one lead, and was then a breakup. Yeah, there was then a breakup in the 4th set on the brink of victory, but Auger-Aliassime shrugged off mistakes to fight back and pocket the 4th set, winning the second of 3 tie breaks. They remained in lockstep in the decider as tension resetted up to new extremes. A tie or a breathtaking final tie-break unfolded as the tournament curfew loomed, with Djokovic and Auger-Aliassime meeting each other in a tremendous some tremendous rallies. It was a Canadian who finally faltered as an almost spent Djokovic sealed victory. An extraordinary performance at the age of 39. So, Michelle, did you see that coming? What do you make of this? Can he go all the way to nick this one at Wimbledon 2026?
Well, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be an Herculean task, for the Serb Novak Djokovic to go to the finals, because he is going to be meeting Yannick Sinner. But let me just concentrate on the match so far. For the Serb, he showed that he is the numero uno when it comes to tennis. Of course, he is currently at a 24 Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
One shy of what Margaret Court achieved. And he's always making history, positive history. Like you mentioned, it happens to be the longest quarterfinals match so far.
Wimbledon history.
And of course, he'll be bidding to, become the second man in the Open era, age 39 and above, following the footstep of Ken Rosewall, to win a Grand Slam at Wimbledon. With what he has been able to achieve, he has defied age. For a player of his caliber, 39 years of age is no joke. Tennis is a strenuous sport. You need to be, very smart, athletic. You need to make sure you are well grounded to manage the court, your grand strokes, your positional play, and what have you. And defying injury coming back. But I think this might affect him. As it stands now, he has gotten about 106 wins, which is the highest so far, surpassing what Roger Federer achieved. And of course, he is bidding to win this title for the 8th time. To level what Roger Federer achieved. So, the last time Djokovic won a Grand Slam title was in 2023. And it's looking like these young lads, Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz.
And they're not slowing down anytime soon. The guys are constantly adding layers. And his dream of a record-breaking 25th Grand Slam title, by the most slender margin, lives on. But the question is, like you already asked, will he really get it done? Like, can he go all the way to nick this one?
It's going to be tough, I must admit. Now, the last time he met Yannick Sinner at Wimbledon, he defeated him in Wimbledon in 2023 and 2024. Yannick defeated him in the semi-finals in 2025 before he got a revenge in the Australian Open semi-finals against Yannick Sinner. Yannick Sinner, in the last 11 matches, both players, have faced themselves. The last games, Djokovic has won 5 out of 11. So it's looking like if he's able to beat Yannick Sinner, then I see nothing stopping him. Because Yannick Sinner, as it stands now, happens to be the most informed player, though his specialty is the hard court. He's trying to diversify, and Wimbledon is grass.
This is grass, the grass event.
Grass is a completely different kettle of fish altogether. But here is a Djokovic that I think, if he's able to beat Yannick Sinner, then I see nothing stopping him. Absolutely, he will go there and conquer. But my concern is this: he had a medical timeout. Isn't this going to play a role? What if his next opponent takes the game to the distance?
That's a question.
So it might come up with a relapse. When you are injured, he's not fully ready. And for Yannick Sinner, for the very first time, I'm surprised that he's performing this way, because he was not involved in any tune-up tournaments to Wimbledon, the grass tournaments, as a way to put himself in good shape. So let's see how it goes. But hopefully, I hope to see Novak Djokovic, the Serb, win that elusive 25th Grand Slam title and become the GOAT of tennis.
Well, interesting times. For the one of time, let's move on to Formula 1, where George Russell has admitted he needs to be really better if he's going to stay in title contention this very season. Having begun the season as the clear title favorite, Russell has been stunned by the pace of his teenage Mercedes teammate, that's Kimi Antonelli, and trails the Italian by 25 points at the top of the standings after 9 rounds, while Russell has suffered several moments of major misfortune. Antonelli has also had bad luck in recent weeks, retiring due to an engine failure in Barcelona and then dropping from a potential victory to outside of the point since Sunday's British Grand Prix after another technical issue. So, despite lacking pace throughout the weekend, Russell profited from mishaps and errors from rivals to finish second at Silverstone, gaining 18 points to Antonelli. Mercedes' technical issues have allowed Lewis Hamilton to remain in striking distance with the 7-time world champion just 7 points behind Russell in the driver's standings after finishing third at Silverstone. Now let's move on to football, where on the home front, Bala Abubakar has resumed duty as the technical advisor of Nigerian National League side, the Bauchi Elephants, talking about Wiggy Tourist. Of course, he was introduced to the players by the club's chairman, Alhaji Salmanu Abubakar, on Monday. The young tactician took charge of Bauchi Elephants last week. Of course, Abubakar replaced Evans Ogei, whose contract was not renewed by the club at the end of the 2025-2026 season. The former Flying Eagles assistant coach took charge of the team's first training session in readiness for the 2026-2027 campaign. Wiggy Tourists, recall, were relegated from the Nigeria Premier Football League last term. Abubakar has been tasked, to secure an immediate return to the NPFL. That's a tough ask, but then the impossible takes a little longer. In another development, Kwara United technical advisor Ashifa Suleiman has said the club will sign up to 10 new players for the 2026-2027 season. Of course, their campaign is fast approaching. Suleiman revealed that 20 players have been retained from last campaign. He urged the club's faithful to be patient with the technical crew in revealing the list of players retained and the outgoing players. Kwara United commenced pre-season training for the 2026-2027 campaign on Monday. Elsewhere, the Malia boys, and that's Barao FC, have announced July 13th, 2026 as resumption date for the 2026-2027 season. 21 retained players will resume pre-season training for the upcoming season on the same date. The newly signed players are expected to report to camp a day earlier. Barao FC have retained technical advisor Eugene Agagbe for the new campaign. The Balia boys have set their sights on another successful season. Of course, Barao FC finished 8th in their maiden campaign in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and that was last term. And now let's look at some transfer stories where, just so you know, Kenyan Premier League club Tusker FC have announced the signing of Victor Mbauma. Yeah, Mbauma has left the shores of Nigeria. Mbauma linked up with Tusker FC from Nigeria Premier Football League side Remo Stars. The 29-year-old who opened a 1-year contract with the Brewers, registered 14 goals and 4 assists for Remo Stars, and that was last season. The striker is Tusker FC's first acquisition ahead of the 2026-2027 campaign. Mbauma will be playing in East Africa for the second time, having been in Rwanda where he played for APR, also clinching the Golden Boot with 15 goals, with a 15-goal haul. He's also played in Algeria for MC Alger and Gizilkum Zarashun of Uzbekistan. The experienced forward will join his new teammates for pre-season, and that's about next week. Long time coming, so for Mbauma, an experienced NPFL player, so a good move, yeah?
Absolutely, a good move. Well,
Tusker FC,
Kenya,
East Africa.
As far as it's not Nigeria.
Better pay.
You know one thing about our league, we seem to lose our best players. Some of them even go to obscure leagues like Sudan. Why would a player from the Nigerian league be going to the Kenyan league? No, ordinarily it's not supposed to happen. But just because the Nigerian league, it is what it is. Players are not well, paid.
Organization over there is smooth as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for the young player, he seems to be a journeyman, going to clubs right, left, and center. And
At 29, he's no longer is almost an elderly man. He can't. He's a veteran. He can also
no, he's a veteran. He's
Okay.
a veteran at 29.
So-
and that's why the team Tosca FC is very careful the kind of contract they give to him. They have given
1
to
year.
him rather 1 year contract because they don't want to, keep him. They want to try as much as possible to assess his performance.
But at 29, you should. Bernardo Silva was handed a 2-year contract with an option of the further 12 months by Real Madrid at the age of 31.
That is Bernardo Silva, isn't it?
So are you saying Victor Mbama's case is different?
It's different. Victor Mbama is not Bernardo Silva. And talking about Victor Mbama, I've seen him, I've watched him. He's a very wonderful, let-out striker. Has a very nice composure in front of goal. Scores goals for fun. And with the way he has covered himself in terms of goal conversion, I think he is going to be a wonderful addition to the Brewers.
Okay.
And I wish him all the best. That's all I can say. But it's just so not so good to me, in my opinion, that a Nigerian player will lose our best players often. Once the league comes to an end, you hardly see our highest goal scorer remain in the league.
Okay.
They move to Sudan, they move to obscure leagues. Sometimes even they want to go to Europe, they go to Cyprus.
Yeah, but way better than the NPFL in terms of everything.
Everything.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Okay, so now let's say that Nigerian midfielder Popola Ridwan has joined United Arab Emirates Pro League champions Al Wasl. Of course, that deal is expected to really materialize well for the player. Ridwan, who linked up with Al Wasl, was in Hungary. Yeah, he joined from Hungarian side Kisverda. He signed a 1-year contract with the side. Financial details of the contract were not disclosed by both clubs. The 19-year-old moved to Kisverda from Nigerian academy. That's C. Morio FC. That was back in February 2025. Ridwan quickly established himself as one of the club's promising young talent. The young midfielder will look to continue his development at Al Wasl. And now, let's tell you that AC Milan legend Andre Pirlo has backed Atalanta's Ederson to succeed in the Premier League as the midfielder edges closer to completing his move to Manchester United. He's expected to flourish at United. Do you agree with Andre Pirlo on that one? Ederson.
Well, for Ederson, I've watched him plays for Atlanta.
Yeah.
And if there's anything I know about him is that he's a compactive midfielder, has a very good, ability in terms of transition, and he's not that kind of midfielder that scores too much goals.
Yeah.
But having him in midfield, he'll be able to complement, the attack. And the Premier League is a different scenario altogether. We've seen players rather thrive in the Italian league, and when they come to the EPL, which is really rigorous, the expectation is really high. And coming to a club such as Manchester United, you would have to come with your A game.
Yeah.
Well, Manchester United is my club, and
oh, you're a United fan.
Yeah, and I've watched him keenly. I believe that he has all it takes to thrive at United. The coaching crew, Michael Carrick has been giving a new 2-year contract, and I hope to see him, be an addition in terms of what he brings.
Okay.
Manchester United will be playing Champions League football.
Okay.
And he has the Champions League experience.
Because I was really going to ask, like, how did you end up as the Manchester United fan? But then I remember that last season Michael Carrick came through and saved the Red Devils. It's fine.
That's quite hilarious. I've been supporting Manchester United since I was like
it's Sir Alex Ferguson. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. So now let's talk about Leslie Ugochukwu, because Galatasaray are pushing to sign the Clarets midfielder Leslie Ugochukwu this very summer. Of course, Ugochukwu joined Burnley on a permanent transfer from Chelsea last summer. The Nigerian-born midfielder is open to leaving the Clarets following their relegation from the Premier League. He's not a bad player, according to what we've gathered. Galatasaray have made a new offer to Burnley after the initial bid was rejected. The Yellow and Reds offered Burnley a package deal worth 24 million euros, consisting of a 2 million euros loan fee and a 22 million Euro's mandatory purchase option. Ugochukwu scored 3 goals and registered 2 assists in 38 appearances for the Clarets, talking about Burnley last season. From there now, let's move on to the ongoing FIFA World Cup in USA, Mexico, and of course Canada. We look at results from games played across different centers yesterday. Switzerland held in an F to edge a tight and cagey contest with a 4-3 penalty shootout success over unfortunate Colombia and seal a quarter-final meeting with World Cup holders Argentina on Saturday. Of course, it was an interesting affair. Ruben Vegas shook off, his pre-game injury doubts to deliver the decisive spot kick after a painful 120 minutes of goalless knockout football, where neither side managed to impose themselves, needing the cruelty of a shootout to finally reveal a winner. The extra time period at least offered slightly more excitement, with John Locum crashing a header against the crossbar and Jamington Campas explicably, fluffing the best opening of the match, which was probably justly decided by the lottery of kicks from 12 yards. What you make of that very encounter? Switzerland beating Colombia. Didn't really see this coming. After Colombia had a good run in the group stages, and of course even in the last 32 of the Mundial, they got into the last 16 on the right foot. I was really hoping that they make it count, but oh come on, they've been knocked out. What's your assessment of the team's performance? What do you make of that very encounter?
Well, I expected it to be a KG encounter because Colombia, I remember, they have not conceded. They have kept about 2 clean sheets or 3 clean sheets going into this game. They are really asked to defensively, but we've seen teams gain late resurgence. For the Switzerland side, I never expected that they'll be beating the Colombian side. And of course, they did beat them in regulation time. They defeated them in penalties, which I call the Supreme Court of football. So it is what it is. And the goalkeeper of the Swedes was really outstanding, covering his face in glory. His heroics was, in no small part, the reasons why the Swiss had it this good. And with what they have been able to achieve, it's unprecedented. I don't think they have gotten to this stage of the competition before. And what a time, the World Cup seems to be getting a lot of high moments. It's getting more intense. But I never saw the Swiss side, the Red Crosses, defeating, the Colombian side at all. And that is the beauty of football. Football is like biscuits. You don't know where it's going to crack. Yeah,
and it did crack. I know the parts of the Colombians. Last night, of course, Colombians are not happy at this material time, whose game plan was far more adventurous and expansive than their more conservative European counterparts in front of a partisan crowd in Canada, but they ultimately lacked a finisher and paid a brutal price. That's being knocked out of the tournament right there in USA, Mexico, and Canada. So now for the Swiss side, guess who they play next? RB Celeste of Argentina. Now Egypt head coach Hossam Hassan says the referee was unfair and claimed the World Cup was directed towards Argentina following their dramatic 3-2 victory in the last 16. Argentina scored 3 goals in just 13 minutes to steer them clear of a shock exit as reigning champions, which sets up a quarter-final with Switzerland. 2 a.m. Nigerian time, same time in the UK on Sunday. So, I tell you for free, the dramatic late winner was clouded by controversy after Hassan claimed his side were denied a penalty moments before Julian Alvarez kick-started the counter-attack, which led to Enzo Fernandez's 92nd minute header. Of course, he wasn't a happy man. Alvarez tackled Mohamed Salah inside the penalty area and caught the forward on his foot before taking the ball. Video assistant referee did not appear to check the incident. Alexis McAllister also pulled Hamdi Fathi down inside the area moments before that very incident, but play was waved on. Those incidents occurred after Egypt had already had a goal ruled out for Zico earlier in the game, with the score at 1-0. Following a VAR check which deemed Lisandro Martinez had been fouled in the build-up to that very one. Speaking in the press conference after the game, Hassan said in his words, "Life is unfair. The world is unfair. Okay, but Why isn't there any fairness in sports? I'm not convinced by this outcome and by the way things unfolded in this match. The referee is unfair. God is sufficient for me and their best disposer of affairs. He's wasting, the efforts of an entire nation. The cup is directed towards Argentina. Hassan was booked by referee Francio Lexia, for protesting after Argentina's winner when he crossed his arms in front of him, which is the FIFA-backed symbol for players and coaches to alert the referee of a racist incident. He got sent off for doing that, but it's backed by FIFA. The Pharaoh's boss did not refer to his gesture here after the match, but added that we haven't seen respect for fair play. A penalty for us was ruled out. It was not even checked by the video assistant referee, and a second goal was remarkably, for whatever reason, disallowed. Has he got some valid points? You are a referee, Michel Dangogo.
Absolutely.
You are a referee. So now, do you really... has he got some points, valid points?
No, he's got some valid points. I share his sentiments. I share, what he claims. But when it comes to officiating, there is a difference between questionable calls and kind of obvious bias, because a lot of football lovers and enthusiasts are saying that the Egyptians were rigged. Now, here it is. I will be talking about the second goal the Egyptians scored. Where, there was a foul in the build-up. Now, under the IFAB laws of the game, fouls are supposed to, under the IFAB laws of the game, a goal that leads, that comes from a foul can be reviewed. Whatever be the case, goals are being reviewed. And when I take a critical look at the contact, it's minimal. And where it happened in the very kind of in the 18-yard area of the Egyptians, very far, where the Argentine does have a lot of opportunity to defend. It was a counter-attack, but all of a sudden the referee went there, reviewed it and called it that is a foul. And I think the Egyptians do have a legitimate call on that.
Okay.
It's not supposed to be so. Now, they too did have their own fair share of incidences that happened, but the referee and his video assistant referee, they did not call him for a review. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So tactically, I think the Egyptians, did not get a fair officiating.
Okay.
Because Mo Salah, even the third goal scored by Enzo Fernandez, Mo Salah was infringed.
Yeah, there was an infringement.
Why was there no review on that? Even when the Egyptian players were protesting. So if you're protesting the cause by the Argentines, you should also try as possible to make it level playing, where everybody would know that, okay, this is what you're doing. But
so in a way, the game lacked fairness.
In a way, the game lacked fairness. But I really blame the coach of the Egyptian side. One thing that has bedeviled a lot of African teams in this World Cup is their inability to maintain a very high level of concentration during the closing stages. The same fate
most of the African teams.
Belgium. 4 minutes to go against Senegal. They were leading 2-0. They allowed the Belgians to come back into the game.
Several African teams at this tournament.
It happened to Ivory Coast.
Several African
against
teams.
Norway. Ivory Coast were leading. Just in the 80-something minutes, they capitulated. What about the Congo against England?
Oh, goodness me.
And now this. Why would the Egyptian coach go to his bench? You're leading and you can see that it's high stakes. The pressure was coming up. What you should do is to put in defenders. Whether they call it negative or they pack the bus, nobody cares. Okay. All you're looking at is to get the result.
Okay.
And you're going to put Trezeguet. Now, what impact did Trezeguet bring to the table?
Oh, well.
So, lack of game management, decisive decision making wasn't there at the critical moments, and also the inability to close up spaces, because football is more of mental sports these days. When the Argentines got the when they scored 2-1, there was this kind of renewed vigor. They know that we can do something.
Okay.
So the Egyptians were the orchestrators of their downfall, their inability to manage the game so well.
Okay, so invariably, the Egyptians we saw yesterday will be seen no more at the ongoing Mundial in USA, Mexico, and Canada. Quite disheartening. Interesting times. We just can't go any further. Michelle, been a great time right here on Sports 360 with you this morning. But we hope to do this some other time. We'll do this again.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Absolute pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Been a great time. Thank you for always stopping by.
All right, thank you too.
And then it's a good insight on the officiating the game. I mean, well, as a referee, that's why it's a good thing you had to state that as a referee. So this like Howard Webb, the Professional Game Match Official Limited boss,
yes,
like reviewing every incident after Premier League games at the weekend. So that's exactly what it does. Is something similar right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so many thanks for that very one. Anyways, big shout to you out there. You are the real MVP. All right, I read that name, the voice you trust and that mayor you probably need. They call me Rex Patrick the Locker, that homeboy that's never at home. I lock around 247-365. Be sure to follow SEM Television on all social media platforms, on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, on YouTube at CEMTVPLUS. That's at CEMTVPLUS. All right, for now, it's a wrap.
And now, time to talk sports matters on CEMTV.